Hello and welcome to the Inside Stylist Podcast. I'm Emma Morton-Turner and you're listening to episode 9, How to Stay Ahead of Interior Trends with Sara Bird. Today's guest, it has been a freelance stylist for years. She's a journalist, she's been an editor, and she has a speciality in interiors, lifestyle, food, craft, all of it. She has interior designed, written, styled. My goodness, I need to take a really deep breath. You have worked on Homes and Gardens, 25 Beautiful Homes, Good Homes, Elle Decoration, The Mail, BBC Television, Red, and Country Homes in Interiors. Today's guest is Sara Bird. Thank you for joining me today, Sara.
Okay.
I'm saying joining me. I'm at your house.
I know.
Thank you for letting me come to your beautiful house, which is, I said this morning, I'm going to Instagram the shit out of your house, and it seriously is Instagrammable. Your house is amazing.
Oh, it's getting there.
I'm just going to explain what Sara's house looks like because she's really downplaying it. It's like 14th century house. 14th century house. It's got wooden beams that are just everywhere and they're stunning, and the floors are all old and it's really beautiful. Your house, you so downplay your house. So Sara and I have just finished doing a Facebook Live to the Facebook group all about assistants and how assistants can kind of deal with situations to do with styling. And that's why I'm here. So I thought while I was here, I'd just grab her and just talk about how she got into styling and kind of the industry in general and where we're at, and maybe share some fun stories.
Maybe.
So how did you get into styling?
I suppose my degree was useful. I did a degree in architecture. But prior to that, growing up, I was always interested in those Dulux catalogues and magazines and running around B&Q and the sets that we used to do. But I always knew when I did architecture that I wasn't probably going to be an architect. It was always the interiors that I was interested in. And then
how long did you study architecture for?
I did 4 years. I did 4 years. I did 3 years and a year out in the industry. But then I did a dissertation on William Morris and Liberty, and I applied for a job. My first job was a PR at Sanderson, and I managed to get that. And doing that, I got involved with doing shoots.
I had no idea you started with PR.
Oh, I know. So both sides. Yes, I basically.
You're probably like the dream stylist to contact. You probably know because you know both sides of it. You know how to play the game.
I don't know, but I work with some really good people that I'm still in touch with now. I still talk to the Sanderson Star Library girls regularly, and. I got to work with a really good stylist on a couple of the shoots that I just got able to attend, and also was able to help and attend at Chelsea Flower Show the year that we did that. And so that was how the seed was sown. And then I did a brief stint with another agency at in London. Again, great girls. Still in touch with most of them. But I really wanted to do styling, and I think every time I got on the periphery of a shoot, I just wanted to do the shoot, not just then have the results to peddle out to people. So I just gave my notice in and became an assistant from that, really. So that's how I kind of got into assisting.
And did you, because just coming off the back of our assistant chat just now, did you kind of have money saved up so you could earn a little less for a certain time, or did you just kind of jump and see how it went?
No, I had zero. Just before I got my job at Sanderson, I was very lucky to have work experience on Homes and Gardens, and so I could see it was going to be a bit of a work for free scenario for a while, and so I did do that when I finally became an assistant. And my parents kind of bailed me out a bit, but then I just did all of the jobs, the working in bars and Saturday jobs just to support myself, because I didn't have that money. And I think also at the time there weren't that many people that were outside of London becoming stylists.
So where were you? Where were you based?
I was from the Midlands, and I came down and had to pay for the flat, the usual thing, and so
massively expensive.
Massively expensive
on no
income. And I know at the time, styling wasn't that well known.
No.
And my parents thought I was something in hairdressing for years. And my dad just didn't get it at all and gave me a bit of a pep talk every now and again about I needed to move on, it wasn't working, what are you doing? And that kind of thing. Yeah.
So where was your first magazine job? Did you go into magazine straight away, or did you do freelance first?
I did freelancing for ages. I was desperate to get onto a magazine, but there was no jobs. Or then what happened? Oh my God! I was then too experienced to get on the low rent.
Wow.
The first rung. So I was so frustrated.
That's a really weird place to be, because you kind of hadn't had any experience of writing features and stuff, but you were too experienced styling.
Yeah. So you kind of, they didn't know what to do with me.
Yeah.
And so eventually, we talked about this earlier on our podcast, I started getting work that the stylists didn't want to do. So it was like putting together their pages for Sunday Mail, where they wanted images and captions and that kind of thing. And then Good Homes, I got in with the girls there, and they were asking for me to do the same, get the looks and that kind of thing. And
that's
so
a good way in, actually, isn't it?
It is a good way. And I don't think you can underestimate how important it is to know how to word things, how to do writing, because it's not all about the image. And even if it is for the job you're doing, you then have to sell it on your website. So it's a good skill. I thought for years I couldn't write, and then suddenly you realise, actually, maybe I can. I'm not bad.
And it's not English writing from school. It's talking to your mate.
It is.
It's writing how you talk to your mate. And that is a whole different thing, which is why I can write. Because I can't write proper No. When Inside Stylist went live, a very good friend stylist who was a sub offered to sub it for me because I'd made so many mistakes. So you know who you are, thank you. But yeah, and that's so true. To be able to come in at that kind of entry level doing writing like that gives you like a foot in the door to grow into doing bigger features.
So from Good Homes, it just led to more things doing that kind of thing, and then I had a slightly larger room sets. And then also what was probably different for me was I was doing a lot of work for certain special projects like magazine launches.
Secret squirrels,
can't even say it. But I was working with really, really creative people that had a lot of experience, and I was looking at how magazines were put together, the nuts and bolts, the paper quality, how to design pages. I'm not an art worker. I'm not. I was being involved with, talking about type.
Yeah, but if you can understand that side of thing, when you shoot an image, you can kind of see how it will be on the page rather than just creating a really beautiful image. So
I had a very intense, I think it was 2 years, of how to design a magazine and launch a magazine. And then I went on, funnily enough, I finally got taken into IPC as it was to do another new launch, and that kind of existed for a while.
What can you? What was that?
God!
Can you say? I can remember
creating beautiful homes.
Oh yes,
and again, I got to meet a lot of really nice people there. And then by this point in time, the guys that I worked with at Good Homes were an Ideal Home. The space came about. I was there at the right time, and I got taken in by Ideal Home. I wept when that magazine gave me my job, because that job was like 7 years coming.
Yeah,
to get that contract.
So what job? What was your job title on Ideal Home?
I was. Well, this was the weird thing,
because the job titles, they could mean one thing on one magazine and a completely different thing on another.
Yeah. Well, the weirdest thing was I went in and I got the job of deputy.
It will be recorded.
I've got the job of deputy style editor. And then within a month, they'd asked me to be the Homes editor, because they had that opportunity going as well. So I'd gone from not being on a magazine
enough to
suddenly being the Homes editor on Ideal Home, which was and is the number one selling Homes title. Yeah. And so that was like,
I was just going to say. Was that exciting? I listen to quite a lot of podcasts, and they say about fear and excitement, and being scared and excited are exactly the same emotion. You just have to tell your brain that you're experiencing the other one when you're feeling it. But was that really scary?
It was very scary. But
who was Isabel the editor then?
No, she just it was Jane Parbury, and I think I think the thing with how I work, okay, I'm hoping there's a trace element of creativity somewhere, but
just a smidgen.
I just thought, do you know what? If I can do the man hours with this, and I did do the man hours,
I'm sure.
I can pull it off.
Yeah,
and I think it was that reason people gave me the job, because I was willing to put the hours in.
They saw something, because if you've gone for one job and they're offering you another, they knew what they had in front of them.
So that's it. All kind of happened very quickly, but and there you are.
I have a Sara story.
Oh God.
It's okay. I look bad and not you. So it's okay. Don't be scared. While you were on Ideal Home, I was on maternity leave. I don't even know if you're going to remember this. And it was when Sue Rose was the editor.
Okay.
And I got an email from Sue just as I was about to come back to Woman and Home from maternity leave after having Beau. Beau is 14, so this is quite a while ago now.
God.
And I was asked if I would be interested in applying for the home editor's job or home decorating job or something like that. And I literally shit myself. I was like, I am so not ready for this. I've hardly done any shoots, but they must see something as they're approaching me. So I thought, right, I've got nothing to lose. I'm on maternity leave. Let's just go in. So I came in for an interview. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And my interview was with you and Sue.
Yeah.
And I sat down and she asked me to critique a shoot that she had on these kind of boards. And I thought, right, well, I've got nothing to lose. I'll be just open and honest. And I literally stood there and went, well, I think it looks really good, but the sofa really doesn't work. I don't know why the stylist chose that sofa. And of course, it was your shoe. And Sue was really good. She was really diplomatic. She said, right, well, sometimes things go wrong. The sofa that should have been there wasn't delivered and we had to get one quickly. And this was the sofa we could get. And I was like, oh my God, I just literally slated your shoot. And I've got no experience. I don't know what I'm talking about. And I just walked out of there thinking, oh my God, that was the worst thing ever. But actually, in hindsight, it was probably the right thing to say because I was being open and honest.
Yeah.
But it was like, oh my God, Sara will never talk to me again.
But I did.
You did, yes, because I'm in your home 14 years later. But then I pulled out. I decided I wasn't ready, and I went back to Woman and Home and became home editor there.
Yes.
So
that's
it
how
all
things
works
work.
out.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my Sara story.
Oh.
And when I was planning this podcast, I knew there'd be a point where I could say, "I'm really sorry, I slated your shoot."
Do you know what?
That's the whole reason of this podcast.
I'm sure most people just can pick flies on most things I've done.
My shoots now. No, but it was just that one, we've all been there. I was telling the story the other day about I had to call in a sofa for Ideal Home when I was on a shoot with them doing work experience because they didn't have a sofa and it was a living room shoot. It was like, these things happen, don't they? Yeah. It does go a bit crazy. So that kind of brings me on to disasters. Oh, right. There's so many disasters have happened and things gone wrong. And you shoot quite a lot with Dan Duchars, and I was just sharing that when I was quite new on Woman and Home working with Charlotte Boyd, Dan was doing a shoot with us and we were in the living room and his car got towed away from outside the house that we were in, and we were right next to the room where his car was and we didn't even notice. I think you remember you have to put those the postcode, the registration number of the car on the parking permit, and he hadn't, or his assistant hadn't. And he came out and went, my car's been stolen. It was an absolute nightmare. But have you had any disasters? Or I shouldn't say have you. What disasters would you like to share?
No,
some are too traumatic,
I don't know if it's probably not a disaster, but when I was in early days of doing my own shoots, I was commissioned by someone to do a bed canopy shoot, 6 bed canopies. Oh my God. And there was another person at the table at the time, and she was looking across to me, and I think she was shaking her head, thinking this is never going to happen. But I was willing to give it a whirl. And of course, at that time, I didn't know about, the day rates and everything, you 9 till 6s or whatever it was. And we turned up at, I can't remember if there was an assistant. I don't think, it was just me and the photographer. And I think, did he have an assistant?
Canopies.
6 canopies.
In one day?
In one day.
Oh my God.
Anyway, got to midnight.
I'm not surprised.
We were still there. The owners were amazing. They were amazing because they could see it was, just. I hadn't even booked the location. It was one of those situations where you just turn up. Yeah. That was, and I'm still in touch with the
I was just going to say, do you still shoot with that photographer?
Oh God, yeah, because we were both
in the
most
same boat.
ridiculous situation. And he's a lovely guy.
It's funny how many of these disaster stories that come out revolve around very late finishing. And it's just, you try and plan a life, and it's actually like, well, I'm shooting that week, so I can't plan anything. Yeah. And you kind of quite often will say, look, I'd rather not commit to something because I don't know if I can be there. Yeah. And I realise 10 years have gone and I've hardly done anything.
I know. I do remember having those conversations with friends, and now it's my husband.
Sorry, darling. Look after
he
the kids.
Still doesn't get it. When you're phoning at 4 when you be home. What do you mean?
Yeah, 4 o'clock. I've got 5 hours left.
Exactly. So I'm miles away. But no, that's my story.
Yes, that's a good one. Have you got any what would be your favourite shoot or favourite thing to shoot?
I've got a number of I wouldn't say that they are favourite. They bring back nice memories, these shoots. One, it was 4 country homes. We just happened to be in a nice Whitstable location, and it was Ideal Home, Whitstable location, and we were both there doing bits and bobs for the magazine, and I think we had a lull in the day, and we were both looking at me and this other stylist looking out and just pretending to have we were both single, and we were both wouldn't it be nice to have this sort of house. It was just a nice just chit chat. I'm still friends with the stylist. Another time I think was when I first started out, and I was able to go to France on a shoot. Wow. And it was with a stylist, and we were setting up things in a lovely hotel.
Did you drive there?
I flew there.
And how did you just put your props in the bag, sort of thing, in your suitcase?
They already had stuff there. We were using what was on location, but it was all around Bonnier, France. Peter Mayle at the time just done all of those books, and I was just absolutely in love with Toujours, Provence, whatever the books were, and so that was gorgeous because you got to be in these lavender fields and all that.
And did you get to actually be there, or was it literally fly in, work, fly out?
No, because it was a few days there, so it was just nice. And then I went off on holiday after that, so that was really nice. But then I suppose most recently off our own backs, I've been away up in Scotland shooting for a fabric company and just doing all sorts for them, and we were in this stunning location, really nice team up there. We were there for a week, and we were just really spoiled. They looked after us really well, and we just did a lot of fun stuff.
Did you have to kind of plan it all out, but then you were just adding things in because there were so many things?
It was totally planned out. We did a house shoot and a behind the scenes for the company, and some, because they had can I name the company?
Yeah,
it's in Chira.
You can't badmouth anyone.
Okay,
you can
no.
be good. Any good clients definitely share that.
So I met with the Chira team at Decorex, and we said it would be nice to go and shoot at your house, and then it ended up shooting about the company and shooting their event space and some really fun kind of dining party scenarios. But I talked to the florist up there, and we were talking to the caterers up there, and working out what props we had up there. So there was a lot of on faith kind of things going on.
Is that quite scary when you left your house? Like, what if?
I was a bit like, oh my goodness, I hope it all works. And it panned out so well, and we just got some really nice shots. But great company, I think, in a brilliant place. So
you mentioned country homes and interiors there. We haven't really talked about that. You worked on country homes and interiors. Was that straight after Ideal Home?
Yes. So I joined in 2004.
Really? Wow.
And I was there as the deputy, and then I was acting editor for a year, and then I did the deputy and the decorating editor's role for a few years.
All squished into one.
All squished into one. And I was there for 10 years on staff, and then I've been freelance working for them ever since then. So that's 3 years now, I think. Yeah. Something like 4 years, something like that.
So you, Country Homes Interiors does shoot in some incredible locations.
Yes.
Are they hard to find? Because they're such a niche style.
Yes. Yeah.
Because whenever I look through the magazine, I always think, where did they find that location? I've never seen that on any agencies.
Some of them are quite familiar, but it's new ways of shooting them. I think the thing with Country Homes is it's very person specific for what they would be doing at that time of year, but it happens to be a decorating story as well. Yeah. So it all has to fit into that criteria. I spend an immense amount of my time just looking for locations, and that's probably one of the drains doing it. I mean, it's...
Do you find your Wi-Fi doesn't move fast enough when you're doing that? I'm always like, flick, flick, flick.
Yeah, no, I think... and I think the battle that you know, it needs to work logistically for you, and then you're like, oh, I found the dream location. Oh, it's out of Hebrides, and it costs a fortune. Yeah. But you just it's just constantly going through loads and loads and loads and loads of properties. Yeah, and it's a bit. But equally, if anybody says they found a location, they start putting pictures up on it because it's like, oh my god, you know, that'd be perfect. Yeah, oh, it's out of budget. Yeah, but yeah, it's always the same old problem, isn't it? Always budgets, always budgets. You were talking about going away for a week at a time. You're a mum of two gorgeous young ladies. Yeah. How do you balance that? Because I struggle with that with the kids. My kids are a little bit older now, but yours are quite young still. How do you have family nearby? I do if I want to now, but I didn't. I think when I first went freelance, I had a childminder, I had an au pair, and I had a nursery situation going on, and the school. So there was lots of people ferrying. To juggle, yeah. And then, because I wasn't away loads to start with, and it was always, you know, me sorting out, right, who's going to do that, to that, to that, to that, to that.
That's like a job in itself.
Yes, as well as do the cats and the chickens. But then my parents have just bought a cottage over the road.
Oh, fantastic.
So they are able to help when I'm away a bit longer, and then I've got grandparents as well, other grandparents that come down to help as well. So it's not ideal, but you can make it work. You kind of make it work, and I don't disappear all the time.
No, of course not. It's just that I'm always really interested to hear how people juggle it all, because I mean, my kids are now a little bit older and they can take themselves off to school, but before Darcy was at secondary school, I'd have to, and my husband leaves for work at 6 a.m, so my mum would come round at 5:45 in the morning and stay and take Darcy to school, and then would come back round the other side and hang out until, or she'd go to her house and stuff, and that I always felt awful. My mum was like, no, it's fine, I'm up anyway, but it is that whole, feel really guilty, I'm away for a week and you're going to have to come around at 6 a.m. But it's just quite interesting how people juggle it and make it work.
It's not brilliant, is it? No. But if you want to do it, then you have to do it. So
absolutely. I've been talking to quite a lot of stylists doing these podcasts, and there's been quite a few bits and pieces that have come up that I've always found really interesting. And I'm going to start asking everybody, and you're going to be my first. So I just assumed everyone did things the same way as me. It's one of those things that you just kind of assume everyone has the same thing. But I have a toolbox with all my tools in. How do you do toolboxes?
I do have a toolbox. I've got a small toolbox.
Is it a Stanley? Mine's a Stanley.
I don't know if the toolbox is. Now I say that because I've also got two other toolboxes that are now prop boxes.
So what's in them?
The prop box or the tool one?
All of them.
I found, and I don't know how this has happened, I've got a number of florist secateurs thing. I'm actually do quite a lot of flowers within what I do now. Yeah. A wreath, you know, every other day, week, whatever. And then there's lots of like florist wire, that kind of thing in there. A knife.
So it's like your greenery box.
It is. I do a lot of flowers. And then oh god, I've got so many pairs of scissors. And fabric scissors, paper scissors. No one touches the fabric scissors.
Are your fabric scissors orange handled?
It might be, with my name stuck all over it. Don't let them.
Do your kids know which scissors not to use for paper?
The scissers are nowhere inside. It's under lock and key.
Yes, I understand.
But then, and I've got tape measures and pins and curtain hooks and.
So do you take all three to every shoot?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've got more. I've got so many boxes of tricks. I think that's the thing. I mean, you try and edit it when you go to different jobs. You're not going to need everything.
And then you go to one and you think, oh God, I've left that in the other box and that's at home.
But you always need a key.
Yeah. Always need blue tack.
Always need blue tack. You always need some random bit of ribbon. you know, I mean, because I work on a country title, I've always got feathers with me, dead stuff. I mean, we all know dead stuff. I'm looking around the house now going, but I've got stuff dotted all around the house as well as in my props. I've got horseshoes, you know, just bells, eggs that are out, blown eggs.
Yeah, I've got a whole thing in my kitchen of blown eggs.
Oh, God.
And then when I did an Easter shoot, I was like, I don't have to blow them. They're
No,
ready
I
to
know,
go.
I know,
I'm just going to spray paint them now. My next door neighbour always sees me spray painting in the garden. Yeah. And she's like, what are we on now, Emma? It's January. You must be doing summer by now.
Yeah, I know.
How do you do your contacts? Because this is something that's come up. Do you have an address book, or how do you keep tabs on where everybody is?
Well, I suppose in the old days I had that card deck thing, but anyway, I then went on to a folder with A to Z in, and now I have a folder on my computer with A to Z's. And normally it's the A to Z works in company name, but then I might have like a W for wallpaper companies if they're so small that I won't know them, or you know, my florist flowers and you know F whatever.
Do you, when you can't find someone, do you say, where would Sara put that? Because I can't find things to go, now where would Emma actually put that?
I think no, because I've got
you got a system.
I've got a system. So if it's so obscure, someone sent me a great release about honey recently. There's no way. I mean, I might, if I stick it under honey, I might find it. I certainly wouldn't find it under the company name because they're so small. So I have stuck it up in a food for shoots thing, so I'd hopefully find it in there. But it's more, I suppose, again, if the company's just too small, even if they do stationery, I'm never going to put them under their A to Z. It's going to be in a stationery folder under S or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think most things are kind of stored within reason.
Yeah.
But
it's very interesting how people do their contacts so differently, because I just assumed everyone just had like an online thing, but actually like they do have online, but the way they do it is different. All mine's in my Google Mail, so it's just I find that quite interesting.
It's probably how you started off.
Yeah.
Gosh, am I aging myself beyond you?
No,
no, because I was talking Rolodeck.
No, but I had in fact, I was quite attached to my address book, and you know when you start out and you've got a big address book, and then you have so many contacts, you can't actually close it properly. So I got a big one, and I loved that thing, and it's on my bookshelf, and I could never throw it away. And I mean, it's got to be 15 years old or something.
Do you know what though? I've still got mine, similar to what you're talking about, and I did find an old contact's telephone number that I didn't know. It was her original mobile, and I know she'd done the circuit, and I texted her because I needed to find her, and she was there, and it's because I got it in my old paper folder.
Yeah, I think mine might predate mobile phones. No, not really. I'm not that old. What would be your dream job? You're freelance, so absolutely anything is the oyster. So, what would you love to do?
I think I'd like to go back and do some stuff for Sanderson, who I started off with. I mean, I've helped out on some biggie like all the Chelsea flower show things. That's kind of
events are nice to do.
Yeah.
I love doing events.
I think it'd be nice to do a big. I mean, God, it'd be like. I think I'd probably stress myself out. But it'd be nice to do like a big fabric thing in an amazing castle-y location. You know, just something blow your mind really. But I think it'd just be nice. I'd feel if I got to do something for Pure Style or Sanderson in particular, I feel like I'd come full circle, and I think that might be nice, just to do. So.
Last question. So I always ask either what's next or what are you working on at the moment?
I'm working on lots of summer stuff at the moment for Country Homes.
It's February, by the way, guys, when we're recording this. February, pretending it's summer, not a leaf on the trees.
Yeah, and then I always, when I'm in my summer mode, I'm thinking, gosh, right, I've got to get my autumn trends hat on soon because I do lots of trends.
Do you know what? That was something I completely forgot I need to ask you. A number of people in the industry have said to me how you are really on top of trends, ahead of everybody else.
Who's that?
And fabric people, colour people, paint people sort of thing. And I think they were saying how you go to people and ask them for trends in a way that no one else does.
Oh, really?
How do you do that? Like, what do you do to know what the autumn trends are now we're thinking about summer? If this is a trade secret, you don't have to share it. So I just realised you might not want to share that.
No, I think I'm always trying to think what next. I know nothing is ever forgotten. We always like to pull a little bit of the past with, nothing's really new either. But I don't know, I think I just observe a lot beyond just what we do in the interiors industry. I'm constantly looking at, I always say people's trainers.
No, that's massive.
Just to see the colours that are coming through, and then you're aware of what's on telly, or a lot of it's gut feeling. I don't know.
No, you've obviously got a real vibe for it, because the amount of people who've said it, and I've never mentioned your name, it has just come up in conversation, and I'm glad you mentioned it, because otherwise I'd have completely forgot. I'd have driven home going, oh, God damn it.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's because maybe also because I came through the fabric and wall covering and paint, because it's Sanderson paint industry as well.
And they work well in advance of editorial.
Yeah, and I think it's just, I can see how things progress. I don't know. Yeah. It's just, if it's been recognised, then oh my God. But so I'm always thinking about it. I don't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, you're not in the moment, you're thinking about the next moment.
Yeah, and I think I've just got folders. I've got folders going on for like 12 months' time at the moment that I'm just popping things in. And the thing is, so I think it's also how I work on Country Homes is I need to know that I've got X amount of stories that I can give if the first one isn't liked. But then I can see how that story, if it's not liked the first time around, might change. Yeah. And then 2 years down the line, it might be ready to be kind of received to the table.
So how do you stay on top of that? When you say you present a story and it's like a no for now, where would you then put it? You just put it in for the next year and move it on?
I just put it to one side and I just feed things in, and I've just got these big folders and I'll take things in and out.
Oh, that's very interesting, because I have lots of tear sheets, but I never actually sit down and come to them until I have to do a feature sort of thing. I won't keep looking at them all the time. I should probably look at them a whole lot more, because actually you tear something up because you love it, or it inspires you in some way.
Yeah, but I just know sometimes things aren't ready to be received. Yeah, but then
their time will come.
Yeah, so
that's very interesting. I think we could have a whole conversation just on that alone.
Trends,
Yes, you will have to come back on.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much for the whole day. I feel like I've been here for a very long time.
You have.
Please go.
Drained.
Thank you very much, Sarah. It's been brilliant.
Oh, cute.
So thanks for listening to the Inside Stylist podcast. Before you scoot off, I just wanted to share with you something that Sara has launched since recording this podcast. She has teamed up with Dan Duchars, interiors photographer, and together they're creating features for magazines and media. They've set up their own little company and it's called The Contented Nest, and you can find them on Instagram at The Contented Nest and see all the beautiful shots they've been doing. They're really, really lovely, so go check them out. I'm hoping I'm going to get them both on another show later on, talk about how it's all going. But until then, and until next time, bye for now. Now, what did I do with those tear sheets?